You are listening to the IndyCar Report with Elijah Poe every week on the Central Indiana Sports Report. This week joined by Dave Chanley, our friend and longtime IndyCar fan. Quick note toward the end of the podcast, we lost Dave's mic. We have incredible editing software. Sometimes it just does not work. Incompatible with just certain things. You never know what it's going to be. But that was toward the end. We got most of what Dave had to say about the IndyCar season so far and this weekend at Road America.
Welcome, IndyCar fans, to the IndyCar Report with Elijah Poe. I'm Elijah Poe, and we have a special week coming up here. For the IndyCar series, we're heading to one of the best road courses IndyCar has to offer in Elkhart Lake. It is Road America. Really looking forward to some on-track action, as I would argue, other than the 500 and the ovals in general, I'm not sure there's a better track IndyCar has to offer. I'm here with Dave Chanley and Greg. We're going to get into some Road America action here this weekend. And Elkhart Lake should be absolutely fantastic. One of the best road courses, if not one of the best courses on the IndyCar schedule. Interested to hear your guys' thoughts on some upcoming action at the beautiful Elkhart Lake.
Dave, it's really a course that never disappoints.
It is. It's a fantastic course. I would say Mid-Ohio might rival it because it's always got some good racing too. But Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin is fabulous.
Yeah, if nothing else, it's always beautiful, but the course is very racy and always one of our favorites. We always look forward to it going in every year, and as we said last year, Elijah, it just never disappoints.
Yeah, it's just such a great venue in general. There's really nothing like it that IndyCar goes to that just has the scenery, other than maybe Barber, that just has the scenery of Elkhart Lake and Road America. When you think of courses that promote overtaking, I'm not sure there are some better courses in America that IndyCar could go to. We talk about some high downforce, big braking zones, high speed straights, big winding turns that go on, high-speed corners. It's just got everything. I really can't wait to see some on-track action here, and everybody's going to be chasing Alex Poe, it feels like.
Yes, Alex Poe. We could almost say, let's forget talking about Alex Poe and let's talk about everybody else. But maybe somebody has something for him this week, but he's just going to be the guy they're all chasing. I think several drivers and teams might be able to step up and chase after him this week. And especially, I'll go Kyle Kirkwood right off the bat. You guys just chime in with whoever you want.
I think Kirkwood could be a big contender here. Only 49 points back of Poe in second place right now. Andretti has usually ran there pretty well. I'd be interested to see what Kirkwood can do to beat Poe because, talked about following the Poe strategy, but one of these teams is going to have to pull something out of their hat to be able to beat Poe and do something different. And I think Andretti, especially with Brian Herta on the stand for Kirkwood, could maybe do that. But I also think it could be a little bit of a bounce back weekend for Aaron McLaren, who has been very, very quiet pretty much the whole season.
That's where I was going.
Yeah, I love Errol McLaren. I'm glad they're in the racing. I love Pato. I really think that Lundgaard is a tremendous driver. I think maybe they have to put something together. As you said, Elijah, they have been weak. Are not up, let's don't say weak, but let's say not up to their standards all year long.
Yeah, there's no doubt. With Pato not even having a podium, it's honestly a little shocking just because he's such a great driver. We know that. But, these in-car cameras, I think, have given us the ability to see it just looks like a real challenge for Lundgaard and Pato to just drive those cars around. You look at the onboards of any of the Penske or Ganassi cars, and it looks like it's on rails compared to what Aaron McLaren is dealing with. But I think that's all the more credit to him that even if they don't have maybe the best car on the grid, I mean, they're still sitting 4th and 5th in the championship, which I just think is incredible.
I'll agree with that. I think that several times this year, Pato's put it in a top 5 and probably had a 10th place car.
It's been a strange season for Aaron McLaren. You know, those guys are their names are mentioned every week. They're in every race, despite clearly not. I don't know. It's weird. I really thought Pato not only was going to be more of a factor, I thought he was going to be a contender for the championship, and he just nothing.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, it's looking up to be a pretty hectic weekend. So maybe an Aaron McLaren could maybe pull out with a win because they're forecasting some pretty severe weather that's rolling through this weekend. I'm not sure if it's going to include lightning and thunder to maybe postpone or maybe even cancel, heaven forbid. But nevertheless, it's looking like this could be the first rain race of the year for IndyCar.
That'd be fun. By the way, Elijah, Road America averages 400 passes for position per race per year. Second most for a road course is Mid-Ohio, which averages about 100.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty incredible, just what comes out of Road America every year. And if we do get a dry start that turns into rain, I think that number could even go up even more because you just lose so much time when you have to pit at Road America. That pit sequence takes 30 plus seconds just because it is such a long pit road. And I think if we do get some rain and even a dry start, it really could be anybody's ball game. Yeah, I think that's a great segue into a question I want to spring on you two. A little known fact that the last 2 polls at Road America have been rookies. You go back to Linus Lundqvist and then Louis Foster last year. I guess with that being said, which rookie in this field could you maybe see sticking it on pole?
Linus Lundqvist won a pole at Elkhart Lake.
Yes. He got crashed out in the first lap.
Wow, I just do not remember that at all. I barely remember Linus Lundqvist. Hauger's due for a big performance, an eye-catching performance, I think. Makes me wonder if it's going to be another good weekend for Rahal Letterman.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Graham fighting up inside the top 6 and maybe getting inside the Fast 6. I think he was in the Fast 6 here last year, and obviously with Louis Foster on pole, it to sound like a broken record, but could this be the weekend we see Mick Schumacher do something? In all honesty, he's kind of been a little non-factor this whole year, and
it's weird that we mentioned Dennis Hauger and Caio Collet and didn't even mention Mick Schumacher. At the beginning of the year, you wouldn't even thought that was possible.
Yeah, it's just been a brutal stretch. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. There's no doubt. Especially with Mick Schumacher, we've been talking about him at length, just not having results. And it'd be super big for not only Rahal Letterman Lanigan and his point standing as it is, but I think just big for the IndyCar series in general. If he's even able to maybe scrounge up maybe a top 5, I think would be maybe a story not as big as the winner itself, but it would definitely be up there.
Yeah, it might be as big as the winner himself. It really could.
If it's Alex Poe, it's probably bigger.
Yeah, exactly right. That would steal the headlines.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Ferrucci maybe end up with the top 5 result. I think he finished up there last year. AJ Foyt in general, I think, is right here pretty well. So I think maybe even Kyle Collette could pick up some big points. But I also look at somebody who hasn't maybe flown under the radar all year, but just hasn't had that result that he usually has. And I go to Scott Dixon. Talk about experience at Road America. He's got it. Almost won this race last year. Made that mistake, but I think he could easily win this one this year.
Meyer Shank also had a really good race there last year and should again this year. I have to think that this is got to be Pato's weekend. It just has to be. He's been way too quiet this season.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. And that qualifying is going to be on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern. So that's a big qualifying session. And then easy enough for Sunday as well. The race is going to start with the green flag coming around 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And we will talk about it after the qualifying on Saturday to do a little more of a preview, make our official picks for Sunday, and then we'll react after the race on Sunday. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
We're going to get these technical difficulties figured out, and it's a shame because Dave had a lot of good things to say about his expectations for Kyle Collette and Dennis Hauger, and that he also agrees that it's going to be Pato's weekend. Also, right after we finished recording, we saw a headline that it's possible Scott Dixon will not be back with Ganassi Racing next year, so we'll keep an eye on that. We'll be back this weekend, talk all about qualifying, preview the race, and then, of course, we'll react to the race as well and talk about any breaking news. Thanks so much for joining us. Please come back every week, 3 times on race weeks. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.